Well, I got like some knives in front of me or something. Yeah, so I should have what I assume are three TwoSun knives, and then something here, as you can see, from Justin Malone, aka one of the guys over there at White Mountain Knives. I do believe that's a Kizer. I do kind of want to start with that one. Kind of stole the whole painter's tape thing for blocking off some of that stuff from I honestly don't remember exactly who it was. Advanced Knife Bro, maybe? I don't know. I just saw it in somebody's thumbnail and went, hey, that's a good idea. So there we go. That way I can, keep my address to those of us that actually need to know it. Okay. Yeah. We got a Kizer box. This is a Vanguard series. But, as you can see with this sort of stuff here, this is a denim product. So, made with denim micarta. And yeah, I really do appreciate that they've been including extra hardware. They just recently started doing that from what I understand. But 'tis nice. So is this. Whoa, it's a big one. I kind of knew it was, but still. This is, what's the name of this little duder here? It's the Justice. Yeah, I really like that blade shape on there. And the flipper tab, I do actually like that it doesn't curve back down. Just gives that a little bit more grip in the hands, so that's nice. This denim micarta is, I'm sure it will probably work itself out a little bit, but it seems to be just a little bit rougher in general than the QSP stuff, like the penguin and the parrot that have been in that so far. Let's see, this is a design collaboration between I really don't know how to pronounce that dude's name all that much, but Nuthu, and of course Azomai. Looks like the lockup is right around 45 to 50% there. You got a nice cutout there for that. Makes that really, really easy to disengage. It's got that same drop shot action like they started doing here on the Beg Letter 2 is one of the first that I've noticed with that. Yeah, this thing is a big old guy. This has a glass breaker thing on the end there. I am actually curious myself to see if I can't remove that. I generally don't need it on any of my standard EDC knives. And I always get a little nervous if I'm carrying around something like a phone or something with a screen on it, because these can absolutely decimate something like that. But hey, yeah, this thumb stud feels super, super nice. Plunge grind ends way back here, so we got decent amount of sharpenings in there before any of that sort of stuff is going to go down. Since it is using N690, you are going to probably have to sharpen it maybe just a little bit more than some of their other knives there. From my experience, N690 doesn't hold an edge quite as much as 154 cm, but I can understand when you have a knife crazy large like this compared to a lot of other ones that this stuff still kind of makes sense. N690 is a bowler steel, but I do kind of liken it a little bit to 440C and some other stuff. Obviously, the makeup of it's a little bit different, but right around that performance kind of range, it's a little bit there, if not maybe just a touch higher, but not quite as good as 154 cm. What did actually make me interested in this, for one, I wanted to try their denim micarta, and it seems nice. This one, probably because Azo wasn't the main designer for it, we don't have those shadow boxed liners, and I really appreciate when that's not the case. Makes things really, really comfortable in the hand that I don't have basically myself interfacing with two little thin slices of liner there. I do like the crenellations on the backspacer too. That's kind of nice. Not super crazy sharp on that glass breaker. I've definitely felt more sharp ones elsewhere. So using that in the reverse grip actually doesn't feel like it's just going to pierce right through my thumb or any of that stuff. So awesome. Interesting how they've done the clip. I like that it's left and right-handed. And it's definitely different than their others. Has a decent amount of flex to it. It does go up rather than coming back down on the back end there, but it is much lower than the rest of that pocket clip is there, so you don't really interface so much with it. So neat. I like that. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Let's see. Oh, well, this has a label now. That kind of ruined a little bit of the fun. But, yes, this is a Jelly Jerry design. And this was one of the very first releases that I've seen. Almost all of the ones that I've seen posted after this. I'm trying to find my stupid microfiber cloth so I can, there we are. I can kind of wipe this down. It's got some greasiness to it. Most of them have been anodized purple from the factory, so which I saw a couple of days after this one was posted here. But yeah, we got that very leaf-shapey kind of blade going on there, which I'm quite a big fan of between some Spydercos and also the TwoSun TS286 there. We got a finger choil. For me, yeah, of course, it's going to be a little bit small. Hey, that happens with basically all of them. Very, very downturned, almost like a pistol grip sort of thing going on here. And that's pretty interesting. But it also has an extra set of jumping up there, which can really help for doing some of those utility cuts. That's neat. And hey, this is in 14C28N instead of D2. So for those of you who've been sad to see that almost all TwoSuns lately have been in D2, they still are making some otherwise. It's basically a bolster lock, if you will. So yeah, it's fairly thin as far as the titanium liner before it comes out for that bolster lock. Pretty interesting. Where is the... This has a pretty early detent, which is great. Something that a lot of other Jelly Jerrys have had late detent engagement. So whereas this one's pretty darn easy for doing that. Yeah. Hey, two different attachment points for the pocket clip there. That's neat. Yeah, I like that quite a bit. Let's see, what else do we have? Well, there's one more TwoSun and another TwoSun. Let's see, aha, this is another Jelly Jerry. This one seemed to have come out just a little bit later. This one is a very much different form factor. Quite stubby and chunky. It's a front flipper. Yeah. So this one is definitely going to be basically a 3-finger, but it has a nice landing spot to lock that in with your pinky if you want to hold it back here. Obviously, it does have a flat portion up there for you. This one is in D2. And, yeah, this seems to kind of go along with some of their other knives that they've done recently that have that kind of a smaller form factor going on. Like it quite a bit. Yeah, super easy to do that reverse flick. Liking the jumping on that quite a bit. It's yeah, it's got a bit of grip to it, so that's fantastic. And we got a little bit of milled titanium there. The pocket clip actually does come out a little bit to a point, so you just have to be a little bit more cognizant when you're putting it in your pocket. If it's straight up and down or at a canted angle, that might make it easier or just a little bit more difficult. Let's see. So the plunge grind starts way up there, ends pretty close down there though, but it's a real gradual one. And of course the blade is up in front of it, so it doesn't seem like that's all that bad as far as the sharpening choil goes on that. This looks to be another one of those bolster locks. Yeah, we got a little bit of detent over there, and near as makes no difference, a full backspacer, which I usually prefer, especially from TwoSun, who has kind of the tendency to have that blade kind of stick up a little too far. And let's see, what else do we have here? This is a introduction of an old knife. Is this the 17? Yes, it's the TS-17. So, very old design from Night Morning. This one is the color variant, but like a lot of others, if they do a color variant, they also do just a standard titanium one. And yeah, in general, what I can say with these things is that they highly polish these scales, so they are quite slick just out of the gate there. And yeah, they just don't quite have that same grip that you get out of their standard finished titanium. This is yet another recurve Tonto. This does have a compound grind. And that grind stays thick, but it gets really, really nice and thin by the end there. So that's a little interesting. But yeah, a whole lot of reinforcement going on the tip on this thing. But it's maybe not the absolute most piercy kind of thing to it, but it has a lot of strength behind it. So that's kind of neat. You got a fuller on both sides. It's fairly difficult to actually engage with if you're trying to get that out there. Unfortunately, it's just buried a little bit too deep in there, but I suppose that's okay. The blade is sunk in decent enough. I can't really get to it, so that's great. Pretty subdued flipper tab on this thing as well. Does have an interesting design. Kind of has some of those lines like the TS-38 Tonto does. Yeah, it's pretty neat. This one is also in D2, if I didn't cover that earlier. This one doesn't really have much in the way of lock bar access, though. It's pretty much flat on there. It does have just a little tiny bit of scalloping up there. It's not the worst thing ever to disengage, but especially with the this color variant here, it's a little more slick than a lot of other ones probably would be. But yeah, kind of glad to have another one of those older models that I haven't really seen anybody put up for sale for a very, very long time. So it's nice to be able to have a second chance at picking that up. So that's great. All right, so we got the TS-17. We have, what is the number on this guy here? So the TS-154. They are backfilling some of those 100 series numbers with some new models. I think this one is the 300. Yeah, 340. There we go. And of course the Kizer Justice here, which Yeah, this thing will definitely patina. It does have that, I suppose they call it a little bit more vintage style, where it doesn't really have much in the way of oils on it to begin with, but that means that it patinas real quick. That's what Micarta does. It's kind of one of their selling points here for the knife industry, but that does make them much more difficult to sell used, because you look at it and you're like, well, that's a whole bunch of oil, but it's from somebody else's hands. That's a little weird and strange and different. But all right, something else that I should mention about these guys here, the colored ones. You probably do want to clean them off a little bit once you get them. They do, of course, have their protective oil on there, and that does kind of reduce the sheen and kind of just overall contrast that these finishes provide. A lot of people will do it with Windex, but if you got yourself some actual acetone, it's actually one of the best things to do for it. Just a great solvent overall to be able to remove all of that and just make it look a little bit shinier. It's not going to help that texture. It's still going to be nice and slick, but hey, there you go. Well, this was fun. I'm actually not going to say goodbye on this particular video because I have like another 2 to 3 knives coming tomorrow. And I do believe they're more TwoSuns, but you will find out really, really quick. For me, it's going to be another day, though. So, 3. We have more to take a look at. So, here's that one that showed up today. And that one. And that one. Alright, I got no idea which is which, so let's just jump into it. Alright, this is a Wong design. This one was kind of interesting because it has a tip-down pocket clip basically built around the pivot here. Some cheap knives used to do that long time ago, like mid to early 90s maybe, but some other knives like Spyderco's usually include clips in the tip down position. This one seems pretty interesting. It's titanium liners on here, and then really pop of yellow G10 going on here, and kind of a peel poly texture to it. It's got a nice grip. We got nice stonewash on the D2 blade. This one is the TS157. Not so much a lot of lock bar excess there. Looks like we have just a little tiny bit of a cutout up top up here. Still not difficult to engage to close. But with it being large, heck yeah, you don't really engage with that pocket clip basically at all. Pretty interesting. I guess maybe just a tiny touch of a recurve going on there, but yeah, mostly it's just kind of a straight to trailing point. Pretty interesting. Alright, let's see. Oh, we got a colorful one here. Alright. So, yeah, this one, that is a very different micarta for TwoSun to use. This has a feeling like some of the more recent Kizers, so that's kind of cool. And this is a colors variant, so you can see it does have that rainbow strike anodization. And super crazy pointy spear point leaf shape sort of thing going on here. It's, as you could probably tell, a Wong design by the fact that the finger choil actually fits me. So there's that. I wouldn't have minded actually having some jimping up top here for the that additional grip. But yeah, excited to see them use a little bit more of this micarta in the future, because it's feels like good stuff, which isn't always the case with them, unfortunately. We have a little bit of scallops for closing this guy up, but not a crazy amount of lock bar access relief or anything like that. Oh, fairly nice thin line, slicey little dude. Yeah, we have a distal taper like the TS-286 as well. So that means it thins out towards the tip as well as, of course, down to the edge. That would make sense. And it does look like if you really want, you could probably, well, I don't know. Probably not, since it's not notched for it, but you could probably figure out a way to switch the little thumb studs on those. Alright, and the last one I got here, I think this is a night morning. It is goopy. Let me grab my microfiber cloth. Alright. Anchor chunk. Yeah, this is a TS-144. Does have a lot of those elliptical lines, probably like the TS-269 or something like that. This is a liner lock with titanium outer scales. A little different there. The top of the thumb studs are going to be a little pointy, so if you want to rotate it out, that might bother you just a little tiny bit. But as far as pushing them forward, yeah, that's no problem whatsoever. We got some hollow grind going on here. Fairly thin for them doing a hollow grind, so that's pretty good. Yeah, I do like how their pocket clips milling basically matches the origin point of the ripples there in the handle. Just has a nice aesthetic kind of look to it. It's got a little bit of that dip there in front for the thumb. Kind of neat. Well, all right. Well, for the current opening, that's basically it. So I will let you get back to it, and eventually I will probably get around to reviewing these knives and of course sharpening them and getting measurements and all that sort of other good stuff. The measurements for all of these will be down in the description though. So all right, as always, I appreciate y'all for watching, and have yourself a wonderful rest of your day, yo. Subscribe.